Hey Crushers, Young here, bringing you a new Crush Them All video featuring a rune chest opening as well as a rune overview guide. Before we get started, if you have any questions or comments after watching this video, I would encourage you to leave them in the comment section below, or you can reach out to me through the official Discord, which you can access through the settings of the game located here in the community section. I would also ask you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. That way you can catch all my videos when they come out and stay up to date on all the latest Crush Them All news and information. I would also like to take a moment to give a special thanks to Godsy Lab for sponsoring today's video. I don't want to completely spoil it, but there is a cool bit of information that I'll be sharing later on in this video about something coming in June worth mentioning. I'll cover that a little bit later in the video, so stay tuned for that. I'd also like to mention a few comprehensive guides that there are that go far more in depth than this video does, such as Gaffa's Rune Guide, which I've linked in the description below. Now, runes can be overwhelming at first, and I just want to get that out of the way first and foremost, because, I mean, sometimes you may even want to throw your phone in frustration while dealing with them. I'm hoping that by the end of this video, you'll be able to more confidently handle general rune maintenance, and also be able to recognize what runes are worth your time on a glance. I will say that this guide is not aimed at brand new players, and the general assumption is that you've progressed in the game to the point that you have quite a few runes, whether or not you know what's good or not. For specific hero advice, please check out one of the in-depth guides, or check out the Runes Guide channel on the official Discord. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start by discussing some of the basics when it comes to runes. So, runes can come in 6 different star levels. You have 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s. And then you have your 5s and your 6s up here. Now, generally speaking, runes level 3, 4, and 5 are what you're going to want to focus on. If you're a Mega Whale, then you'll want to focus on 5 and 6 star runes. If you're a free-to-play player, you'll generally want to focus more heavily on 3 and 4 level runes. For the majority of players, we're going to be honing in on 4 and 5 star runes in particular. Runes cost varying amounts to max out, but the important ones are 3 stars, which cost about 25,000 rune dust to max. 4-star runes, which cost about 90,000 rune dust to max. 5 stars, which cost about 310,000 rune dust to max. And 6-star runes, which cost a whopping 1 million rune dust to max. These numbers can be even more daunting when you consider you need 3 runes of the same kind to make a set, and a hero can have up to 9 runes total with a maxed weapon. Now we're going to circle back and discuss the rune star levels. For most players, you're going to want to convert to dust all of your 1 and 2-star runes. There's, for the most part, no reason to even look at them. Okay? And for most players, you're going to convert all of your 1, 2, and 6-star runes, because you'll never be investing rune dust in these. There are some very few exceptions for 6-star runes, but it would generally be best to take a screenshot of a 6-star rune if you think it has good potential, and post it on the official Discord for advice from veteran players. Without getting into a rabbit hole discussion about star levels on runes and the percentages to be gained from higher star levels, I'll advise that you look into the in-depth guides previously mentioned for details like those. As a general rule of thumb, 6-star runes are simply too costly, and you could consider them a hindrance to your growth by focusing on them. Instead, you want to turn your attention to lower star level runes. Most experienced players will advise you not to invest your rune dust into 3-star runes because they don't offer as much value as 4 and 5-star runes. I do agree with this advice as a general rule of thumb. However, I will stress that you could and should use what you have to work with. This is especially true for newer players. For example, if you're building Skeleton Giant and you have a 3-star Vitality rune with Area of Effect as the primary stat, it wouldn't be considered terrible for you to max that rune for usage on him. That said, I would only recommend maxing 3-star runes that are more or less perfect in terms of primary and secondary traits. A 3-star Swift rune with attack per second primary and attack range secondary is a solid rune for several heroes. More importantly is 4 and 5-star runes in this regard. If you have a rune matching what I just described and it is a 4 or 5-star rune, then you've pretty much hit the sweet spot, and you should definitely max that rune out for your better PvP heroes. Generally speaking, the best runes would be considered a 4 or 5-star precise rune with attack per second primary and attack range in the first or second secondary slot. Other good runes would be damage runes with attack per second primary with attack range secondaries, swift runes with those same parameters, and vitality runes with HP primary and nimble runes with HP primary. Likewise, similar runes to these I just mentioned would be attack primary stats. So if you noticed, most of what I said was good, precise runes, swift runes, damage runes, those are great runes with attack per second primary, but in addition to that, attack primary stats and area of effect primary stats are also very good, and you'd benefit from keeping and investing in them, especially if they have attack range in one of the first two slots for secondary stats. Now, I know that this is a lot of information, but honing in on these basics makes it easier to digest the massive amount of information that is ultimately the discussion of runes. Now, the discussion diverges from here into 3 main aspects: DPS heroes, tank heroes, and crowd control heroes. We're going to discuss each of these main aspects, and then we'll get into a rune chest opening segment. Okay, so I hope you guys are sticking with me. I know this is quite a bit. So starting at the top, let's just take a look at the damage per second heroes, or DPS heroes. These are heroes like Vlad, Sorrow, Scud, Spark, Tesla, and Dark Hunter. For this, I'll just go ahead and pull my Vlad up so that we can take a look at him while doing that. Now, these are the heroes that you'll want to build to deal as much damage as possible. What we're really looking for is a combination of 3 main stats: attack, attack per second, and attack range. On Spark, you'll also want to consider running burn time with burning runes, but this is still less important than the previously mentioned 3 main stats for focus. You basically want as much attack as possible, attacking as fast as possible, and standing as far back as possible. This allows the hero to stay outside of enemy area of effect attack while dealing as much damage as possible in as short of time as possible. Focus on the basics for most DPS heroes, and don't be scared to ask for advice from more experienced players. Now next we're going to discuss tank heroes, and this represents really 3 main classes in CTA. That's Barbarians, Knights, and Brawlers. Now, there are 2 main spots for these frontline heroes, the very front and just behind the front. We'll call these positions Bruisers and Walls. As an example for this, you run Skeleton Giant with an attack-oriented or Bruiser rune build behind a spike with an HP-oriented or Wall rune build. A Bruiser tank rune build is going to focus on a few different things. First off, you're going to want Vitality runes with Area of Effect primaries. This is a bad example of that since I'm not running that on this guy. But essentially, I'll just flip through my runes. I'm sure I've got at least a couple in here. Oh, right there. Okay. So a rune like this, but bonus gold is a really crappy secondary stat. So that would not have been one worth investing in under most circumstances, unless that was the only option. I believe that would be the same rune that we just looked at. Okay, there we go. So a rune like that. So this would be good for a bruiser, such as Skeleton Giant, like what we're looking at here. A bruiser tank is going to want Vitality runes with attack primary or area of effect primary, and usually a few attack range secondaries, which I'll explain further in just a minute. Damage runes with area of effect or attack primary, and they'll also want Nimble with HP, attack, or area of effect primary stats. These are heroes designed to stand behind your wall tank to deal damage and still survive a bit after your wall tank has fallen. To do this, your bruiser has to have some attack range, so be sure it's got more than your wall tank regardless of the amount, so that when they are both at the line, your wall tank is standing in front of your bruiser tank. If you have a good wall tank built, then you can build a bruiser tank with damage runes, vitality runes, and swift runes with as much AoE primaries as possible. This allows them to deal damage to the full front line of your enemies and potentially hit some backline heroes as well, such as Scud, Thorn, Dark Hunter, or even Sorrow. Maybe more importantly, though, is that it spreads damage to weaken your enemies' heals, making this a viable counter to Merlinus, Vlad, Healing Bot, and Paladin in regards to healing. The other frontline option is the wall tank. Now these tanks are a little bit different, and I'm going to go ahead and I'll pull up what I use for a wall tank, and that's my Gladiator. Now these tanks are built to be the wall at the front line, stopping the enemy line from advancing. They are only meant to soak up damage and should not be considered for dealing damage to the enemy teams. It doesn't matter if they're stunned, frozen, poisoned, or on fire. You want them holding down the line. Ornok, Leafblade, and Gladiator are the best heroes in the game at this time for this role. However, there are other heroes which can be used as well, such as Spike, Paladin, Chaos, and Skeleton Giant. Wall tank builds with Vitality with HP primary. So Vitality runes with HP is the primary stat. Generally speaking, you'd want Vitality with HP primary, Guard with HP primary, and Nimble with HP primary. That's the full set that you'd be wanting to look for. Something like that. Now also generally speaking, you'd want little to no attack range on this hero as well. I'll tell you right now, it's really hard to build a wall without attack range. You can see here, my Gladiator boasts almost 17% attack range himself, and he's built to wall for me. If you're building a Knight to be your wall tank, you'll want to do Vitality runes with HP, Flanks runes with Knight Shield HP, or HP, and Nimble runes with HP. You should never build a Brawler to be a wall tank. There are better heroes for this role. Only build your Brawlers as bruiser tanks, and that'll save you quite a bit of headache in the long run. Now finally, we're going to take a look at crowd control heroes. For this example, I'm going to pull up my Parato. But these are going to be heroes like Frost Queen, Monkey King, Zac, Parato, and Nomina. The general idea for these is to look up and or ask what runes work best for them, because they all need something just a little bit different, and they need to do what they do best in different ways. There are some common ground between them all. Time increasing runes time increase rune effects based on what type of control the hero does. So like Water Heroes freeze and Stun Heroes stun. These heroes all generally need area of effect, stun duration as just mentioned, and attack per second. So let's take a look at my Parato as an example here. This hero's using Chilling runes to increase his freeze chance. I've also given him stunning runes to give him a stun chance. And then I've done everything I can to give him as much area of effect as possible. If I was to focus just on freeze with him, I'd drop the stunning set and likely give him damage with AoE primary instead. But since fire heroes aren't that common in the current meta, I used my Parato purely for utility in the form of crowd control. Now, arguably one of the better heroes for crowd control in the entire game is Nomina. I do not have her built at all yet. That's something I'm going to be working on in the near future. I did ask for some advice in regards to building her, and the Discord user Flocky provided some great supportive information about her, saying that her 2-star ability, which is this right here, her 2-star ability to slow is insane. Plus you also have the additional freeze chance because she's a water hero, and then you also have area of effect on her 1-star ability. High attack speed can make her an amazingly annoying crowd control hero. So that's some good advice from one of the champion rank users from the Discord. Before we move on, there is another kind of hero build that doesn't quite fit into these previously discussed builds, and that would be Thorn. Thorn, where are you? There she is. That would be Thorn and Atlantis. And these heroes are area of effect damage dealers. Ideally, Thorn would be runed with Blight, Splash, and Damage runes, with 2 of the Blight runes having Poison Time as the primary, and everything else having as much AoE and attack range as possible. Atlantis, on the other hand, has a few different viable builds. As soon as I can locate my Atlantis, there we go. As I said, there's several different viable builds for him, but a good viable build would be Precise, Swift, and Vitality with AoE, attack, and enough attack range to stay behind your Bruiser and wall tanks. You want him behind both sets of tanks. So, we've covered a lot. And we'll cover some of these heroes mentioned in greater detail through the Heroes Magnified series. If there is a specific hero that you'd like to see covered in that series, please leave a comment in the comment section below and include Heroes Magnified in the comments so I know to look for it. The next hero in that series that's going to be covered is Spike, but there will definitely be more coming after that, and I need to hear from you on what you'd like to see. So be sure to leave a comment below, and again, don't forget to include Heroes Magnified so that I can look for that specifically. Now we can shift focus onto the rune chest opening. After I finish the rune chest opening, I'm going to be sharing some pretty big news that's coming up for CTA, so stick around for that after the openings. And now we will go ahead and switch on over to do the openings. So I'd purchased quite a few runes right here. We're going to go ahead and get these all opened up. So this will be pretty cool. We'll get to see, hopefully, some good runes. So there's one of those 3-star Vitality runes with attack AoE that I mentioned would be good for Skeleton Giant, for a newer player. There's a 4-star Vitality rune with HP primary. That has the potential to be a really good rune, and that's one we should be taking a better look at once we wrap up here. Resistant runes are not very good. A 3-star Vitality rune with attack primary is not super great. There's another 4-star rune, Vitality rune with HP primary, which is definitely got some good potential. It depends on what secondaries they have. And so that's what we're going to be looking at. Resist runes, in general, I just dust them. I'm not currently keeping them, nor do I keep my support runes. There's another Vitality. Yeah, no bonus gold primary is nothing I want to keep or write home about. Next, we're going to be opening up these ice rune chests. So there's a 4-star frozen rune. The frozen rune is the rune that increases the freeze time duration, so it's good on some crowd control heroes. HP primary is not super great. This would be a good one for a guild raid freezer. There's several heroes that are built specifically for that. This is a 4-star, this is actually a pretty good chilling rune. So this is a chilling rune that increases the freeze chance for a water hero and its attack per second primary, which is pretty difficult to get. So that is actually one of the better frozen chilling type runes that I've seen. All 1-stars there. 1-star runes for me, and this one right here, a 5-star rune with bonus gold, that's dust, and this helps increase my dust income. That one right there has some potential. A frozen rune with attack AoE as the primary. It's a 5-star rune, so that would be pretty pricey, but for a crowd control hero, especially one like Nomina, this may be a good rune for her. And there's another frozen with attack ultimate. I wouldn't invest dust into those just because honestly dust is hard to get, and I have more important heroes than guild raid event heroes that could use my dust. But I'll throw a level 1 rune like that on. Here's a 3-star attack per second stunning rune. This gives stun chance and increases attack per second. That's not bad, but again, 3-star runes, generally speaking, aren't super great. There's AoE stunning. Again, not bad, but not super great. And that one is going to be turned into dust. Bonus gold is a useless primary stat. And ultimate attack on stunning is worthless because you cannot stun guild raid bosses. So now we're into our fire chest. This is a burning rune with defense as the primary, so that one's pretty much wasted as well. And it was 3 stars, so that one was not going to go anywhere for me. These are the Vulcan rune chests. We've got 3 more to open. Ignite gives the percentage chance. Burning with defense, 4-star, and defense primary just is not worth investing into. So those are primarily going to be dust. I'm going to hop into my Monkey King just for convenience real quick. We're going to scroll on down, sort by stars. And we're going to do a little bit of rune maintenance real quick. I'm going to go ahead and turn all of my 1 and 2-star runes into dust. I will not be keeping them or using them, nor do I have to waste time looking at them, because they are dust income for me. I will go through these real quick. There we go. And then we're also going to switch over to stat. And I'm going to look for my bonus gold, these runes right here. I do not need those. So these runes can go bye-bye. I definitely will not be using those. So that gives me room for 47 more runes. So come back into here. More 1-star runes. Now the Navari give flanks runes, guard runes, and I think that might actually be it. Flanks runes are really what we're looking for here. Guard runes are okay. If you get a 4-star guard rune with HP primary, that's good as a secondary or even 3rd set for... Oh, and Nimble! Nimble is what we're looking for. Yeah, Nimble are the good ones. I forgot those were in these. So flanks runes are okay. See, a guard rune, the set bonus is defense, and ultimately defense is not super great because it gives diminishing returns, and that's just not what we're wanting to see. We don't want diminished returns at higher percentages. So there's a 4-star Nimble rune with critical damage, which is okay, it's not great. Definitely could be worse. Assassin runes give precise, rage, and splash runes. We got 12 of these to open. What we're really wanting to see from this chest is precise runes. 4-star precise runes or better 4 or 5. I've got plenty of splash runes with attack AoE. I've got plenty of rage runes. The problem is I don't really use them. I keep them because I think that they might be useful someday, but I just don't use them myself. There's a 3-star precise rune with HP as the primary stat, which isn't super great. Attack AoE, attack per second, any of those would have been preferred over that. Gonna hop back in, and just like before, switch it to stars, drop down to the bottom. I'm actually going to dust a bunch of my 3-star runes right now as well. At this point in the game for me, I don't really need most of my 3-star runes. I'll still use a couple on occasion as needed, but I'm not investing into them as I once was when I was focusing my flues heavily in other directions. So for this go around, at this point I honestly don't need any of this stuff. So we're going to get rid of all of that. I'm definitely not going to keep any of those rage or splash. And I'm not going to keep the guard runes at all. Okay. So that gives 65 more runes. Hey, look, another rage rune. I just dusted all of those. There's another 3-star precise with ultimate attack, which is okay for a damage dealer specifically in guild raid events, but it's ultimately not a rune that I'm going to invest heavily into. I'm not a hitter in my guild, and there's no reason for me to invest heavily into a rune like that. There's a great rage rune, and this is an example of one of those, I'll keep this one in the event that I might need it someday. Currently in the game, this is a useless rune for me, but if player versus enemy becomes really important or relevant in the future and I need to get my damage up, that's a rune that would be really beneficial for me then. Okay, so a bunch more basically dust runes. And now we're getting into our Viking runes. These are the best runes. They have damage, they've got swift, they've got attack reload, which I believe is called intelligent runes. And then there's also wrath runes, but nobody likes wrath runes. Wrath runes are auto dust. Okay, that's 7 more. Yeah, wrath, don't need wrath. Really, intelligent runes are good for staging heroes, for their set, because it makes it to where you can do your ultimates faster. It's also good for, I'm trying to blank on the name, Angelica, so that you can get to, yeah, like that right there is a good Angelica rune, because that'll help her reload her ultimate attack faster, which gives you invincibility. So for those of you who have Angelica and you have her at least 3 stars, that's a good one to look at. A couple 3-star Swift runes, which I generally keep those. This has great potential right here. A 5-star damage rune with attack as the primary stat. We will go and take a better look at that one here in just a moment. Okay, got one more of these. And there's a decent one too. 4-star damage rune with attack AoE. There's several heroes that can benefit from that. We're going to open up these, which are just going to give 1, 2, and 3-star runes. Nothing to write home about. I am going to go ahead and open up 3 of these epic rune chests just so that we can take a look at those as well. I don't know how often you guys open these, but you're guaranteed a 4+ star rune. And we can see a bit of variety. So my guaranteed 4+ star rune was a helpful rune, and I don't keep those, so that was essentially dust for me. We'll open 2 more of these. So attack with attack AoE, and that was a guard rune with defense as the primary stat. So again, that one's pretty much just essentially dust. And for the third one, We have some normal stuff. Oh, I got so excited for a second until I saw the primary stat there. 5-star precise runes are beautiful, but bonus gold is not. So, didn't get anything great from those, but you guys got to see a little bit regarding what that looks like. I'll go ahead and open up some of these that I've got sitting here real quick, and then we'll move on along. I do want to pop in and look at those two damage runes that I opened, and that way we can see what secondary stats are on those. Hopefully something good. Alright, not very many of these left, and just wanted to open them with you guys. Since I had you here and all. Okay. And then, I do believe, oh, it's Vulcan today. Okay, I'll go ahead and open my war chest. And then we will pop on in, and we will take a look at those two damage runes. So did get quite a healthy haul there. Here's the 5-star HP and defense. That's not too bad. Let's see what that third one is. Critical damage, okay. And the fourth effect, attack range. Not the best slot for attack range, it would gain more. However, since that's not going to be an option, ultimately, that's a very solid rune right there, and I may max that one out with time. And we have attack AoE as the primary on this 4-star rune. Bonus gold is not a good secondary, and critical damage. So it's not a great rune, but for a rune that really needs to have a damage set with attack AoE, that's a rune that can go on there. So, there's our rune chest opening segment. Now don't run off just yet, I did promise some exciting news. Cater posted on the official Discord and said, with 85% certainty, that both the pacifier and reminiscence of the past will be active during the month of June. So we should see both within the next few weeks. Be sure to keep your eye on the shop items tab. It's going to be right down here at the bottom, the pacifier item. So keep an eye out for that. And the Reminiscence of the Past event brings the Chest of the Ancients, allowing us to purchase previously featured event heroes. And, as one extra bit of information, I'm officially opening up my personal Discord server to all of you. I've created a new area on my Discord just for my viewers. It will have restricted access to my server, and you won't have access to see the in-progress scripts, but you can interact with other viewers and read through some of my archive scripts on there. I've included a link in the description below this video for that server. I hope you check it out and say hello. And then as I conclude today's video, I would like to give special acknowledgement to King Richard for making the thumbnail for today's video. I'd like to thank several of the Discord users who helped contribute to the content in this video. I'd especially like to, or in particular, I'd like to acknowledge Flocky, Gaffa, Mediv, Monkey, Charles, Bisping, and Pookie. I'd like to give a thanks to all of you for watching my videos and continuing your support. I would like to thank those of you who are interested in donating to this channel. The link for my Patreon is linked in the description below. And finally, I'd like to thank each and every one of you who take the time specifically to reach out to me. You guys motivate me to keep making videos like these. Thanks for watching.